in Syria.
You were Secretary of Energy. Energy independence, as you say, is going to be one of the #1 issues in the campaign. And you've talked about alternative energy, but isn't it going to take real sacrifice, real cutbacks in consumption if we're going to be energy independent?
If we're going to be energy independent, it's going to take a man-on-the-moon effort. It's not going to be a little energy bill here and there. The president and the American people, he has to inspire the American people to conserve, to find ways to sacrifice, together to invest in renewable technologies. 65% of our oil is imported, 65, with dangerous sources that right now could hurt us. We have to reduce that within a period of 15 years to 10% by massive investments in solar, wind, biomass, fuel efficiency, distributed generation, ethanol. We've got to find ways to reduce that dependency, and it's going to take the American people. It's going to take more efficient air conditioners. It's going to take green buildings. It's going to take fuel-efficient vehicles.
Higher gas taxes?
It's got to be a collaborative effort. No, you don't have to do it with taxes. You need a conservation effort that every American participates in, inspired by the president.
But aren't higher energy taxes the best way to get people to conserve?
No, that's not, I believe, realistic. I believe what is needed is public and private investment in renewable sources. I think we can do that with technology. I've done it in New Mexico.
Gary Hart said that if Democrats want to win the West, they have to learn to speak Western. What does that mean, speak Western?
Well, that means that we're for individual responsibility, that we're independent, that, for instance, you got to respect the fact that many folks are hunters. The Western value is an ethos of ethics, of neighborhood, of loving the land, of preserving the environment. I think one of the big issues in the West is all this unmitigated oil and gas drilling is causing ranchers and conservationists and hunters and fishermen to coalesce against an effort that destroys the land.
And when a Democrat tries to speak to the West, guns always gets in the way. You have an A rating from the National Rifle Association. Both Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama have Fs. The NRA says they would give John Edwards an F as well. How big a hurdle is that for those candidates?
Well, in the West, look, the American people are not single-issue people. They want somebody that can get things done. What do we do about our international standing? What do we do about the fact that millions of Americans don't have enough health care? What do we do about our schools?
Will Westerners even listen to someone who the NRA says gets an F?
Of course they will. Of course they will. The West is a region that is changing. It's a dynamic region. You've got huge population shifts to the West. You've got high-tech and manufacturing coming there. You've got an exploding service industry. You've got Hispanic migration.
Last campaign, John Kerry did not win here in New Mexico. What do Democrats need to do to avoid what happened here in 2004?
I'm not one of those that is going to pile on Senator Kerry, but I do think, one, you need a candidate that can win in all regions of the country. We can't write off the South. You can't write off parts of the Midwest. The fact that we've won a governorship in Ohio is enormously important. So a strong candidate that can win in all regions.
Let me throw at you the things I hear about you from Democrats. Number one, they look at your resume, look at your experience, and say, this man is a tailor-made vice presidential candidate.
Well, you know, I'm not interested in being vice president. I got a better job as governor of New Mexico. If I don't get the nomination, I'll come back and be governor. I got 4 years left. I am seeking the nomination because I believe I can do the job, and I have the passion for it. I'm prepared for it. At the same time, you know, this is not a strategy that leads to another position.
Some Democrats worry about what they call a frat boy image. Should they be?
Well, they shouldn't be. I'm an open person. I love to campaign.
Nice to see you.
By the way, I hold the world's handshaking record.
I know that.
13,000.
Beat Teddy Roosevelt.
You know, I love campaigning. I love people. I love parades. I'm friendly. I've never had any scandal in my life. At the same time, yeah, am I happy? Yeah, I was in a fraternity. I was president of my fraternity, you know, that. But I try to move that fraternity. If you read my book, I try to move that fraternity in being socially relevant. Anyway, that's my fraternity.
You also have a sense of humor, and you made a splash in the last campaign with those spaghetti Western ads.
Since Bill Richardson became governor, we've seen some changes.
There's a new lawman in town.
We'll hit him off at the pass.
Double the violent offenders in prison. Over 400 meth labs shut down.
Give me a milk.
Can we expect more in the presidential race?
Well, yes, you can, because I believe that the American people want to be positive. And I'm going to get criticized. I'm always told you're not tough enough on your opponent. So if I can poke fun at myself, that I'm a little heavy, that my horse got a little strained when I got on him, it was well received because people were tired of the negativity. The American people want somebody that's positive, that'll bring people together, that'll heal the country. Instead, they get all these ads about all your past votes and, you know, you're a crook, and I think it really caught on.